Good day, guys. Welcome to the JavaScript course, and this is our second class on our JavaScript training course. So yesterday we were able to, the first day of our training, we were able to address the meaning of JavaScript, variables, data types, values, and even some operators that we use in JavaScript. So today we are going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. So I'm going to create a new folder, or let me just create a new folder for structure. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it week 5. New folder. That will be week 5. Then class 2. Week 5 class 2. So all I'm just going to transfer what I have here. Paste it here, and also the same way too. I'm going to copy and also paste it in this new file that I created. So I'm going to delete this and this. Then I'm going to remove everything here. So I'll remove it. And my JavaScript here, I'm going to say beginner level. Okay, alright, I think we are good to go. So folder. This is what we are working with. So let's right click to get the console. So if we comment, hold on, am I still getting that? Alright, so this is it. Alright, so let's continue from where we stopped yesterday. So we did assignment operator. Now we are going to look at logical or equality operator. We're going to look at equality operator. We'll look at logical operator. We'll look at type conversion and correction. We'll look at truthy and falsy values. We'll look at conditional statements such as if-else statement, multiple if-else statement, and if time permits us, we're going to look at nested if-else statement. Alright, let's move on. So I will say equality or comparison operator. Equality or comparison operator. Here we have so it's just like comparing two values together, So for example, let's console.log. We want to see if under equality operator, I think we have greater equals to, we have greater, let's have less than, greater, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to. Do you see? And which other one? I think that's that. Then we have the equals to sign, which is the loose equals to, the strict equals to, and not, and all that. I think we haven't done not equals to, and we've not done not equals to, because I remember here, what is it now? Oh, my bad. Look at me. See the mistake I just made now. Alright, so let me just copy this and paste it here. I'm coming. Okay, I'm correct. So why this one? I'm going to clear it away. Oh, nice. Alright, good. Good. So I don't think I need the HTML. So in our class we did loose equals to and strict equals to. So we are going to look at not loose equals to and not, and we are going to look at not loose equals to and not strict equals to. We are going to look at that shortly, but let's just continue from where we stopped. So yeah, back to equality, comparison operator. So we have the less than, the greater than, the less than or equals to, and we have the greater than or equals to. I think which one again? I think let's just stop here. So we are going to compare. So we are using this to compare two values, whether so is greater than so or is less than so. So now let's say for example we have 4 here and we say is 4 less than 5. Apparently 4 is not less than 5, so it's going to give you any of the value of the boolean value. It's going to give you a boolean value which can be either true or false. So 4 apparently is less than 5, so it's going to give you what? False. And truck is going to give you true. So if you view this, can you see true? And if you duplicate this, you say is 4 greater than 5. Apparently it is false. Can you see? And here we can say something like can do something like is let's change this to 5. So we can say is 5 greater or equals to 5. So it's going to give us true, because if you remember in mathematics, so we are saying is 5 greater or equals to 5. It means that if any of these equality operator is true, it's going to give us what? True, because apparently 5 is not greater than 5, but 5 is equals to 5. So it means that 5 is greater or equals to 5. It is what? True. And this is giving us what? True. So that's that. You can experiment with the rest, less than, greater than, and all that. So let us look at logical operator. Logical operator. Now this logical operator, we have 3. We have the not logical operator, we have the and logical operator, and we have the or logical operator. So let us start with or, for example. Or logical operator, and this is the symbol for all logical operator. This is it here. Where is it? This one here. That's the symbol for all logical operator. A straight line. Coming. So that's the symbol for all logical operator. Let me remove this code. So this is the symbol. It's a straight line. It's just because of my comment. That's why it is kind of slant. If I comment it now, you see it. Can you see? It's a straight line. So that's all. And what exactly are these logical operators used for? They are used actually to create logic. So all operator means that when you are comparing two or more expressions or values with one value, and you're using or operator, it means that if any of that value is true on its own, it's going to return what? True. So what it simply means is this: if you compare a value which is true, with or operator to a value which is false, it's going to be equals to true. And we are going to look at that. Don't worry. Then if we say false and true, it's going to be equals to true as well. You say false or false is going to be equals to false. Then true or true is going to be equals to what? True. Very simple. And let's see what example we are going to use here. Okay, let's console the log. Let's console the log something. We're going to look at. We're going to compare something now. Let's say is 5 greater or equals to 6, or is 3 equals to 3. So can you see, this is we are trying to create a logic now, and all the things that you are seeing here is something that we have done before. We are saying is 5 greater or equals to 6. Apparently 5 is not greater, neither is it equals to 6. So this particular expression here is going to result to what? False. So now we are saying the first expression, or this first operation here, results to what? False by default. It results to false because 5 is not greater than 6, neither is 5 equals to 6. So it results to what? False. Then the other one, which is or, then this one we are saying is 3 equals to 3. You know, this kind of equals to here, if you remember, it is called what? Lose equals to. It is called lose equals to. So lose equals to only checks for value, doesn't check for data type, meaning that it only checks if the values are the same regardless of their difference in data type, because the data type of this 3 here is number, while the data type of this 3 here is string, but the values are the same. So it's going to what? Result to what? True. So 3 equals to 3 is going to result to what? True, because this is what a lose equals to. So now we are not comparing false we are now comparing false and true using what? The or operator. And in our in this that what am I going to call it? Now we have false and or true. So I say false or true will result to what? True. As long as any of it is what? True, everything is going to be true. As long as any of the operation is true, then all the operation is going to result to what? True. So this is going to be equals to what? True. So do you get it now? So if you console the log, you say is 4 less than or equals to 4, then or 3 or let's do something. Okay, 3 equals to 3. Now this is what we are going to have here. This first operation here, we are saying 4 is less than or equals to 4. Yes, it is true because of this equals to here. 4 is not less than 4, but 4 is equals to 4. So that makes it what? True. So we are saying true or then the next one here, then the next one will be is 3 equals to 3. Yes, it is, because this is not a lose equals to, this is a strict equals to, which compares if the values are the same and if the data type are the same. So the values are the same and the data type are the same, so this makes it what? True. So true or true will result to what? True. Result to overall what? True. So this is it here. Very simple. And just please understand this, because as we proceed into this course, we are going to be using this, so don't see it as nothing, please. So let us look at the AND operator. The AND operator has this this symbol, which is AND, like this. So this AND operator, let me show you what it means. If you compare true and true, or let's do true and false, it will be equal to what? False. If we have false and true, it's still the same thing. It will give us what? False. And if you have true and true, it will give us true. And if you have false and and false, it will give us what? False. So can you see how many false we have? In this OR operator, we have 3 true and 1 false. But in the AND operator, we have what? 3 false and 1 true. It means that if any, in this case, I say if any of the operator, it said if any of the operation is what? False, the overall Boolean value will be what? False. If any of the operation here also is false, the overall Boolean value will be what? False. So for you to have an overall Boolean value of true, then each of the operations has to be what? True. So you see it now. So in this case, if you if you copy this and also what am I doing? Let's do this. Let's do this. Now let us change this one to, instead of or, let's change it to and. Let's change this one to and. We are going to analyze this, but let's create a demarcation between the or and the and in our console panel. So here I'm going to do and logical operator. We will save this. Now think of what is going we are going to have here. 5 is not greater or equal to 6, so that's false. So that's false by default. That's false. And then we'll use our hand. Then the next one is true. So in this case now, when any of the operation is false, then all the overall operation will be what? False. That is what we have here. Can you see? So that's equals to what? False. But in this case, this one is true. They are all true. So it is true. So when you are comparing, when you are using logical operator AND for 2 operations that are true, then the overall Boolean value will be what? True. So can you see? Very simple. Then we also have not. We also have the not logical operator. The not logical operator has this symbol. It has this symbol, which is this question mark. Is it question mark or exclamation mark? That's it. Not operator has this. It means not. So what it simply means is this. For example, the work of not logical operator is to invert the Boolean value. Let's say, for example, if for example, the overall Boolean value of this expression here is false, I will now use not to it. It's going to invert it towards true. So in this case, it's going to invert it towards false. So that is what it means. So let's say, for example, we console.log. I'm coming. Let me just copy this. Let me copy this and paste it here. And here I'm going to use the not logical operator. So here, so I do console.log. So console the log. Let's say for example I have 3 is equals to, or 3 is equals to 3 here. You know, this is going to give us true, right? By default, if you check it, can you see it's giving us true? But if we want to invert it, we can do something like this. We can put this expression or this operation inside of a parenthesis. Then before the opening bracket, we can put a not here. So this is what it means here. Can you see? So after this operation is, after this operation has resulted to true, then we're not saying not true. So it's going to give us what? False. Can you see? False. So it means that 3 is equal to 3 is true because we are using the lose equals to. Then we're not saying true, not true is what? False. Not false is what? True. So that is what it means. Not true is false. And not false is what? True. That is what it means. So that's about that. And with this now we are going to look at not lose equals to and not lose and not strict equals to. Yes, strict equals to. You get it? Not lose equals to and not strict equals to. Very simple. Now in this case, when we have console the log 3 not lose equals to 3, like this, and we save. What do you think this is going to give us? Now this not lose equals to, this is what it checks. The not lose equals to also checks for only checks for what? Only checks for value and not only checks for value, only checks for values, not data type. Only checks for value and not data type. So now in this case we have 3 not equals to 3. That is false because we are saying this 3 as a value is not equals to 3 as a value. That is false by default. It's going to give us what? False by default. False by default. That is what it means. In another way around, for you to be able to understand it very well, we are saying this not lose equals to only checks for value, just like the way we have lose equals to. They only checks for value. And apparently in this case, these values are the same. 3 is a value and 3 is a value, but the data type doesn't matter for lose equals to. So we are not saying that 3 is not lose equals to 3 because this, okay, this is not the symbol for lose equals to. Sorry, this is it here. This is the symbol for lose equals to. This is my bad. This is symbol for lose equals to. This is symbol for not lose equals to. Sorry, this is symbol for not lose equals to. So we are saying not lose equals to. So 3 is equals to 3, which is true. Then you are not saying 3 is not equals to 3, which is false. So this is going to give us false at line 32. So come here, line 32 is what? False, because 3 is equals to 3. But if you now compare this now, if you come here and do it here, and for not strict equals to, it has this symbol. This is a symbol for not strict equals to. So this one checks for both values and what? Data types. It checks for both values and what? Data types. So we are saying that 3 is not strict equals to 3, which means that if you look at the values are the same. In this case, the values are the same, but the data types are not what? The same. So it means that you are saying 3 is not equals to 3, which is what? True. Because the data type are not the same, even though the values are the same. And for you to be able to have, how am I going to put it? Since the values are not the same and since the values are the same, but the data type are not the same. This makes it what true, meaning that 3 is not equal to 3. 3 is not equal to 3. And notice the equals to that we're looking for, we are using here. It is not strict equals to. So it checks strictly for values and what? Data types. So if the values are the same and the data types are not the same, it gives you false. So in this case, we are saying 3 is not strict equals to 3. And that is what? True. Line 35. Can you see? True. It's as simple as that. You get it? So that is that. So the next thing on my agenda is type cohesion and type conversion. Type cohesion and conversion. Type cohesion and conversion. What is type cohesion and what is type conversion in JavaScript? Type cohesion type cohesion implicitly converts or automatically converts a data type to another data type by JavaScript engine. So this one, it is automatically converted without our own help. So in this case, let's say for example, we have console.log 3 plus 3. Look at what you are going to have. We are trying to do a mathematical operation with different data type, even though the values are the same, 3, 3, but each value belongs to different data type. The first value, which is 3, before the plus operator, is what? Is a number data type. While the other value, which is 3, after the plus operator, is a string data type. So you are trying to sum or add together values that belongs to different data type. So what do you think is going to happen? Because how can you add a value that is of a number data type to a value that is of a string data type? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we are going to get 6 in this case? No, we are not going to get 6 in this case. Look at what we are going to get. 3, 3. We are going to get what? 3, 3. Why is it 3, 3? The reason is because behind the scene, there's what I call type cohesion, which simply means that converting automatically a value of a data type to another data type. So in this case, what happened is that this number data type here, are you with me? This number data type has now been converted automatically by the JavaScript engine to a string data type. So when you have string and string together and you want to add string and string together, what it does is what? It concatenates when you add string value to another string value, is what happens is it joins those values together. It joins those values together. Normally 3 plus 3 is equals to 6, but what happened here is 3 and 3 has been joined together. So now you can see that this plus operator here is not just used to add numbers together, it is also used to concatenate strings. Are you with me? So concatenate string simply means to join string to another string, to join a string value to another string value. So apparently in this case here, what happened is type cohesion, meaning that this 3 that is a number data type has now been converted automatically by the JavaScript engine to 3 of a string data type. That is why we're able to concatenate it like this, 3 and 3, that's how it is. Can you see? 3 and 3. That is type cohesion. Can you see? Type cohesion simply means when JavaScript engine converts a string, a data type to another data type automatically. So if you look at type cohesion, for example, type conversion. If you look at conversion, for example, it has type conversion. So now this type conversion simply means that we manually, this is explicitly done or manually converted. This is when the data type of a value is explicitly or manually converted to another data type. So we are the one that is going to convert it ourselves. So in this case, console.log. Okay, before we move to this, let us duplicate this one more time. And let us use minus. If you use minus in this case, look at what we are going to get is 0. Why is it so? Why is it that when we are adding a value that belongs to a number data type to a value that belongs to a string data type, what happens by default is a concatenation of those two values, meaning that we have the values joined together because of this plus operator here. So it goes to show that when you are adding a value that belongs to a number data type to a value that belongs to the string data type together using the plus operator, the end result is going to be the values joined together, not summed together. It's going to be joined together. But in the case of minus and other operators such as division, multiplication, when you want to subtract, like in this case now, you are trying to do a mathematical operation, 3 minus 3, but this 3 is a number data type, while this 3 is a string data type. Now what JavaScript is going to do is to convert this string data type to a number data type, so that you can be able to get what a number, so that you can be able to get a number data type as the end value. So that is why we have what is 0 here. So it means that something happened along the line, something happened that we don't know, something happened behind the scene, meaning that this 3 has now been converted to what a number data type. That's why we can have 0 here. So do you see it now? So let's do it here. Console.log. So if we want to convert, there are two ways to convert a string that has a number as a value, or there are two ways to convert a value that is a number that belongs to the string data type to a number data type. There are two ways to do that. For example, the way to do it is this. If you have 3, for example, here, and or let's just look at the first one, and you have plus 3, and you know that this one is going to give you a concatenation 3 3. This is it here, and you want to convert this one to a number data type. What you are going to do is you are going to take this out of it, cut it, and you are going to use the number function, and you are going to paste what you have cut inside of it. So can you see? Number is a constructor function. So what it does is to convert any number value of the string data type to a real number data type. So can you see? So this number now converts this one to a string to a number data type, original number data type. So that's what we have here. Very simple. So if we console.log it now, can you see we have 6. So it means that we have manually converted this 3, which is of a string data type, to a real number. Can you see it now? 6. Very simple. So, but if you have something like this, if you have a letter and you want to convert it to a number, it will give you not a number. Let's take, for example, let's see what we are having. Let's see something here. Console.log number, and we say full, and we save. Look at what it's going to give. Look at what it's going to give us. NaN. NaN simply means not a number. So you can only pass a value, a number value that is of a string data type here. Do you get it now? and it's going to convert it to a real number data type. So you cannot convert a string, a value that is you cannot convert a letter. You cannot convert this string value now to a number value. No, it's going to give you not a number. So do you get it now? Please take note of that. That is that. And let's say also if you want to convert a number to a string. If you want to convert a number to a string, convert number to a string. So what if, like, it means that if you want to convert a number data type to a string data type, that's what it means. So this is what you are going to do. It's simple. You want to just do what? Console.log. Then you have what? String. Then you pass in the number that I want to convert. You can do 4.5. So it's going to convert it to a string. Can you see? Notice that the color of a number is different from a string. The color of a number here is what? Let me increase this. Can you see the color of this number? The color of number is what? Purple or blue or something. While the color of a string is what? Black. Black. So Boolean value color and number color shares the same color, aside from string color. So that's that about type conversion and type coercion. So let us look at truthy value and falsy value. Truthy value and falsy value. And falsy what? Value. Truthy value and falsy value. So what is a truthy and a falsy value? Now, the concept is to let you know that every value of any data type also has what? An inherent Boolean value. Let me break it down. Every data type that you have also has a Boolean value or an inherent Boolean value. Do you get it now? Also has what? An inherent Boolean value. That is what it means. So the data types that we have, such as number, null, undefined, Boolean, string, object, function, arrays, all these data types that I've listed, all of them has a Boolean value, an inherent Boolean value, which can be either true or what? False. So there are 6 falsy values and there are 6 truthy values. So truthy and falsy value means that it is a value that has an inherent Boolean value. So just like the way we have number data type, string data type here, all this number data type has an inherent Boolean value. This string data type also has what? An inherent Boolean value. So this inherent Boolean value can either be true or what? False. So for us to know a value that has a Boolean value, whether true or false, there's a method we are going to use, which is called Boolean. Can you see? Please mind you, when we're converting this number value that is of a string data type to a number data type, you can see the method that we use, number. Notice that the number is starting with capital letter N, not small letter. Because if you start with small letter N, JavaScript is going to give you error, please. And the string to capital letter S. Now we want to see if the value of we want to be able to get the inherent Boolean value of a data type. So we have to use this Boolean constructor here, and you can see the Boolean, the B is starting with capital letter. So we want to start with number. So we say 4. 4 is a number. So let us console.log this. So here, under truthy, I'm going to console.log truthy values. So here I'm going to duplicate this and I'll say fish or any characters. Let's just use any character. Check. Can use any character. Then we have so I'm giving you truth values now. True. An object. Can you see? So we have 4. We also have what? An array. Then we have what? Function. We have what? Function. So all this belongs to what? Truth value. Meaning that for us to be able to know if a data type has an inherent Boolean value of true, we have to use this Boolean constructor. So we pass 4. So all of these now, they are now what? Truth values. Can you see? All of these are truth values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So this number data type is a truth value, meaning that it has an inherent value which is equal to what? True. This string that is not empty, that has a series of characters, has an inherent value of what? True. Even true, which belongs to a Boolean value, also has what? An inherent value of what? True. Then we have the object. I know I've not taught you object. So our object also has an inherent value of what? True. Array also has an inherent value of true. Then function also has an inherent value of what? True. So we have 6 truth values. These 6 truth values. So let us look at false value, meaning that the values that has an inherent Boolean value of false. So let's look at false value. False values. I'm going to copy this and paste it here to save my time. So here, false values is 0 is a false value. Empty string is a false value. False is also a false value. Null is a false value. Undefined is a false value. Then last but not the least, if that should be coming. I think there are 6. Let's see who comment this. I think there are 6. False. There should be 6. So now you'll be wondering, how come 0 is a false value? Now, any number, let's see minus 1. Truth value. So bring it back. So now, please listen. Any number other than 0, whether any number other than 0, whether the number is a negative number or a positive number, as long as it's not 0, it is what? It is a truth value, meaning that it has an inherent value of what? It has an inherent Boolean value of true. But is 0 is a false value, meaning that it has an inherent value of what? Is 0 an inherent value of false. So you may be wondering why. That is how JavaScript sees it. That's how JavaScript wants it. So our own is just to comply as developers. So an empty string, meaning that when nothing is inside of the quote, when you don't have any series of characters inside of quote, it's just empty. It is what? A Boolean. It is a false value. I think I remember the last one now. Not a number. Not a number is also a false value. Yeah, I remember. So 0 is a false value. Empty string is a false value. False, which is a Boolean value, also has an inherent Boolean value of false. So false is a false value. Null, which is empty, is what? A false value. Undefined which means value is not assigned, simply means a false value, then not a number is also what? A false value. So please take note of that. So that's that about false and truthy value. So false and truthy value checks the inherent Boolean value of a data type. So that's that. So now let us look at conditional statements. So I'm just going to comment. Let me comment all of this. Let me comment this to this point here. To this point. So then we have a conditional statement. Conditional statements. We have conditional statements. Now, this will take our time a lot. This conditional statement is going to take our time because we are going to look at, under the conditional statement, we are going to look at if-else statement. We are going to look at nested multiple if-else statements. We are going to look at nested if-else statement, and if time permits, then we are going to look at ternary operator. All right, let's move on. This is how if-else statement looks like. You have the if block, and the else block. So let me comment this. So here is where the condition is going to be. Now let me explain this because this is very important, because now we are not getting to a point where we can be able to write logic for our code. You know, this conditional statement, we are starting with the simple conditional statement, which is if-else statement. The if-else statement receives an expression as a condition, and if the condition is true, then whatever we write here is what is going to be executed. Let me write it here. Let me just do it here. Let me do code in this block will be executed if condition is true. Then here, copy here, paste it. So code in this block will be executed if condition is what? False. So please take note of that, it's very important. So yeah, I'm doing it like this. So this is what we have. Now, if an else statement, conditional statement, is that the condition or the expression that we want to check will be passed inside of the parentheses of this if, and this is the block of if. This square bracket is what? A block. So this block here is only for if statement. So if the condition here is results to true, then the code that is inside of this block will be executed. But if the condition here results to false, it's going to come to the else block, and the code inside of the else block is going to be executed. So the else block is an alternative of the if. So in the case, let's say you send someone an error, and you send someone an errand to help you get iPhone 13, and maybe probably the price of iPhone 13 UK used, that's London used, is let's say, I don't know the price actually, but let's just say it's 200,000 naira. 200,000 naira is the fairly used price of iPhone 13, and probably you don't know the price of iPhone 13, the fairly used. Then you send someone an errand and you give the person 200,000 naira and say, I want you to go to any place that they sells phone and help me get iPhone 13 UK use. I don't know the price, but if the price is less than 200, if it is 200, if it's less than or equals to 200, do you get it now? If the price of iPhone 13 is less than or equals to 200, then help me get it. But if the price of iPhone 13 is greater than 200, then help me get iPhone 12 that is less than, that is within 200, within 200,000 naira. So, and the person gets there to the phone store and he asks for iPhone 13, and apparently the price of iPhone 13 is within 200,000 naira. So it means that there's no need for the person to buy iPhone 12, because iPhone 12 is like the alternative, meaning that in case the price of iPhone 13 is higher than the money I'm giving to you, then buy iPhone 12. But if the price is within my limit, is within the budget, then buy iPhone 13. So now the person goes to the phone store and price for iPhone 13, and he now discovered that the price of iPhone 13 is within 200,000 naira that the person gives to him. Then he's going to, so the code is going to be executed. So it means that he's going to get iPhone 13. But if it is not, he's going to get what? iPhone 12. So that is the meaning of if-else statement. Are you with me now? That's the meaning of if-else statement. So let me just give you an example. Let's say, for example, we have let age equals to 18, and you want to check. So now I'm going to teach you what we call prompt, modal window, and alert, because they are actually called modal windows. They are called modal windows. I want to teach you what we call prompt and alert. There are 3 types of modal windows in JavaScript. I don't know about any other programming language. We have confirm, we have prompt, and we have alert. So, for example, let's say in this case now, alert is actually used to alert a message. Prompt is actually used to be able to get a value from a user. So do you get it now? So in this case, let's say we have a age that is equals to 18, and that is the eligible age that is required for you to be able to drink beer. So if you are 18 upward, then you are eligible to drink beer, and if you are below 18, that means you cannot drink beer. So in this case, we want to write an if-else statement, and let's say we want to be able to get the age of people from an input field. So instead of writing form or creating an HTML form and so that we can be able to get the age of the person, we are going to use a prompt. So this is how prompt looks like. We'll say prompt, and the prompt is a function. It's an inbuilt function. Prompt is what? An inbuilt function that comes with JavaScript. So this prompt is going to receive a message. So the message is going to be, in this case, you are going to put inside of a string. The message is going to be what is, or let's say the message is going to be enter your age. Enter your age. Do you get it now? Enter your age. And if you look at it here, this is what prompt means. Enter your age. So we now have what? An input field that that we can type anything inside. So apparently, enter your age. We know that he wants to receive what? A number as a value. So we can type 14. If we type 14, then we'll press what? OK. It means that what? The message has been what? Sent. The 14 has been what? Sent. But how can we catch the 14 in our code? So we have to catch this by saving it inside of what? A variable. So now we're going to say let me see what I can call it now. Input age be equals to this. So can you see we have saved it now? So now if I go again and type 14 and I press OK, you will see that 14 now has been saved to what? Input age. Do you get it now? So if I console the log input age, now the function, the rule of input is such that it only runs once. You get it now? It only runs once. So if you do 14 now again, I will say, can you see we have 14 there? 14. So 14 that we pass into the input field of the prompt modal window has been saved into what? Input, as it saved into input age variable. So we'll now consider the log input age variable so that we can be able to get the value. Notice that the color of the number is 14, meaning that this number is a value, but it belongs to the string data type. It means that anything that you pass into the prompt is going to give you a string data type. But here now we are working with what? We are working with number. We are working with a number data type. We are not working with a string data type. So it means that whatever number we pass into the prompt input field is going to give us a string data type. So we are going to convert it to a number data type. And there's a method I taught you here, which is this one here, number. So to convert a string data type to a number, you have to use what? This number constructor function. So what we are going to do is we are going to cut all of this. We are going to cut all of this and we are going to wrap it. We're going to put it inside of the number constructor function. So this is the constructor function. Then we pass it into the constructor function. Then look at what we have. If I type 14 again, it will no longer be black. It will be what? Purple or blue. I don't know. So this shows that this is what? A number data type in our console. So now this is what we want to do. Let me comment this. So now I'm going to write an if statement and say we want to know if the input age is greater or equals to 18. So if the input age is greater or equals to 18, that is, let me cancel this. If it's greater or equals to 18, that's 18 is the eligible age to drink beer. If it's greater or equals to 18, then I want you to console the log. I want you to alert. So alert, you can drink beer. Do you get it now? So this alert means that it's going to alert the message that you put inside of it. So the message that we want to alert is what? You can drink beer. So you're just going to alert it. Finish, that's all. Then now we have created the if statement, meaning that if this condition is true, if the input age that we get from the prompt is greater or equals to 18, then we want you to alert you can drink beer. But if the input age is less than 18, that is where we have else. So else is going to catch the age. Is like an alternative for this if. So it means that in the event that the input age is less than 18, what am I going to do? So I want you to alert you cannot drink beer now. Save. You cannot drink beer now. You see? So let us see what we have here. Enter your age. So we enter 14, for example. Can you see? You cannot drink beer now because 14 is less than 18. But if we pass another one, for example, if we refresh and we'll do something like 40. Can you see what we have? You can now drink beer. Can you see it? Or if we refresh, we pass 18. So the person's age must be equals to or greater than 18. So say, okay, can you see? You can drink what? Beer. It's as simple as that. Do you get it now? That is if-else statement. So whenever the condition is false, you can create an else for it, so that you can be able to do something with the false value. So this is now. But I also want to let you know that it is not compulsory to have else statement in if statement. Else statement is just for you to be able to create an alternative code if the condition is false. But there are going to be a case whereby you don't need to create alternative code. Are you with me? You don't need to create alternative code. You just want to be able to create the if code. So if the condition is not met, then leave it like that. Do you get it now? So it's not compulsory you always have else statement with if else statement. So please take note of that, because we are going to be using that as we continue in our code, in our JavaScript code. Please hold on. Alright, so let us look at another conditional statement that we have. Let us look at the multiple if else statement. Let's look at multiple if else statements. So the multiple if else statement is kind of similar to the if else statement. So the if else statement is like a simple conditional statement. So in this case, I'm just going to comment the if else statement so that I will not be having that annoying pop-up in my code. So now for multiple if else statement, it checks for multiple conditions. That's what it means. It checks for what? Multiple conditions. So what kind of example can I give for multiple if else statement? Let's say, for example, you want to grade a student, and you want to grade a student based on its scores. Based on its what? Scores. And you know that, I think in primary level or in secondary school level, the grade of a student is determined by the scores of that student. So let's say you are looking at, we have a score from 0 to 100. I want to grade a student within that score limit. So now in this case, we are going to have, let's say we have, let's say 0 to 39 is F9, right? Y 40 to 45 or 44 now is E8. Is E8. Y 45 to 49 is D7. Then Y 50 to 55 or 54 is C6. Then Y 55 to 60 or 59 is C4 or C5. Y 60 to 64 is C4. Y 65, I think, to, is it to 70 now or 69? 69 is B3, if I'm not mistaken. Then 70 to 80 is I think 80 is B2. Why? No, 70 to 79. 79. Why 80 to 100? Is it 80 to 100? No, this B3 should be 65 to 74. Why this one from 75 to 84? To 84. Why this from 85 to 100? That should be A1. Yeah, correct. So now you have these scores here. So the scores now determines your grade. Now we want to create a multiple if statement because we are going to receive the scores from a prompt. So we are going to compare the scores with these conditions that we have here. So if the scores fall within any of these conditions, then we are going to alert the grade of that student. Then we are going to have an else statement. Else statement ensures that if any value that is above 100 or below is 0 is passed into the prompt field, we are going to write invalid number. Do you get that now? So these are conditions. 0 to 94 is a condition. 40 to 44 is a condition. So all of these conditions will determine the kind of the grade of the student. So if the student imputes a scores and we compare the scores within these conditions that we have here or multiple conditions that we have here. So if the scores fit into any of the conditions, then we are going to print out or alert the person's grade. So now this is how to write or create an if statement. So we say multiple if statement. So first of all, we have the if. Now the first if is to check if the scores enter. So first of all, we need to create a scores. We need to say let scores now. Let scores be equals to prompt. So we need a prompt window, and here we say enter your what? Your score number, or enter your scores. Enter your exam score. So this is going to give us a string by default. So any value that we pass or anything that we pass into a prompt is going to give us a string data type. So now I want to pass a number into this prompt, and we don't want it to give us as a non-string data type. So we have to convert it to what? A number data type. So we cut it, then we say number, then we pass it in. Then here we're going to create our block here. So here we're going to write a condition. We're going to say if score. So we want to start from A1, and A1, the score of A1 must be, so if the score of A1 must be between 85 to 100. So it must be between 85 to 100, or it must be within the range of 85 to 100. So from 85 to 100. So if the score the value of the score that we get from the input field falls within that range, 85 to 100, then that person scores what? A1. So we are going to need some things that we have done before. We're going to say if scores is greater or equals to what? 85. And if score also is less than or equals to what? 100. That is what it means here. Because the score, for the person to score A1, the person's score must be equals to or greater than 85, and the person's score must be less than or equals to 100. Because if we only say this person's score must be equals to or greater than 85, that means we won't be able to set a limit to it. So once it is 85, or even though the person scores 150, or even though the person puts in 150, the person is still going to score A1, but want to put a limit to it. So we are only looking for a scores within a 0 and 100. So we have to put a limit to it. So if the person scores is greater or equals to 18, the person's scores too must also be less than or equals to 100 for it to be what? A1. So do you get it now? The person's scores must be equals to or greater than 81, and that same person's score must be less than or equals to 100, so that we can be able to capture the range, the full range of A1. Are you with me now? So that is that. So here we are going to say alert what? Alert your score grade is A1. Congratulations. Then, instead of going straight to the health statements, we don't need the health statement now, because this is the first condition. So let us capture what? The second condition, which is the B2. So we'll come here. Instead of writing else, we are going to write what? If else. Then the parenthesis. If else, a parenthesis. Then we'll say if else score is greater or equals to, let's leave for B2. If score is greater or equals to 75 and score is less than equals to what? 84, then this is what we are going to do. Let me just copy this. Sorry, not if else. It's going to be else if, not if else. Sorry. Else if, yes, else if. Sorry about that. It's not if else, it's else if. Then say your grade is what? B2. B2. You see it? That's it here. So we have created two conditions now. Now you also want to be wondering, why am I using and? Why am I not using or? Remember what I told you here. If you are comparing, can you see in this case now you now see that it now makes sense now. Because in this case, the reason why we are using and is to check. The reason why we are using and is because these two conditions has to be true. These two operations has to be true before we can be able to execute this. But if we are using or, for example, or simply means that if any of this operation is true, then the overall result will be true, and we don't want that. We want each of these operations to be true, that the scores must be greater or equals to 18 and must be less than or equals to 100. That's why we're using and. Because if you use or and the person go and type 150, the person going to type 150 at his scores. So we say, okay, 150 is greater or equals to 18. I think this one is true. But 150 is less than or equals to 100. It is what? False. But since we have true, and we are comparing, and we are using a logical operator of or, so we are saying true or false is going to result to what? True. But we don't want that. We want to be able to have, if it is true in one operation and it is false in another operation, we want everything to be what? False. That's why we are using and operator here. So we are saying this one has to be true, this one has to be true for you to be able to execute this. Do you get it now? That's why we are using and. So now we now need another one here. Else if it scores, let me just copy this so that it's going to save my time, please. Copy and paste it here. It scores is, that's for, we are checking for B3 now. It scores is greater or equals to 65 and less than 74. We want to alert B3. Then we have another else if. That's for C4 now. Paste. C4 is, it has to be 60 less than equal greater or equals to 60 and less than equals to 64. So say alert, your score grade is C4. We say, now do under else if, we paste. This one will have to be C5. It has to be 55 and 59. Here we alert your score grade is C5. Then another else if we paste that, we're going to check for C6 now. C6 has to be greater or equals to 50, then has to be less than or equals to 54. And we'll say alert. We can, this alert that we are using, we can either use console, we can use console too. You don't have to use alert too. We can use console too. I'm just showing you all these things in case you find it in another tutorial. So your score grade is C6. I think the next one, we have 3 more to go. So this will be D7. It has to be 45 and 49. So alert your score grade is D7, then else if we paste, we want to look for E8, that's E8 will be 40, it has to be greater or equals to 40 and less than equals to what, 44. So in this case, we're going to do alert your grade or score is E8. I think last but not the least, that's for the other condition. So it has to be scores must be less than or equals to 0 and greater or equals to 39. Then alert your score grade is F9. So we now have multiple if else statements. So the next else, we're going to write else. So in case the scores is not, if the scores is above is 0 to 100, they will want to alert scores invalid. So we save this. So let us see what we have here. Let me cancel this. Let's see, enter your score 34. Can you see your score is what? F9. So if I refresh and I enter score like 120 for example, score invalid. If I refresh and I enter something like negative number is 09, look at what we have, score invalid. Can you see? If I refresh and I enter 67, can you see your score grade is what? B3. So if I refresh and I enter something like 78, can you see your score grade is B2? If I refresh and I enter score something like 92, can you see your score grade is A1? So we're able to do that using what? multiple if else statements. So this else, so we have captured every conditions from 0 to 100 scores. So we have captured all of these conditions here. So any score that is above 100 or below 0 is going to fall under this what else block. I'm going to allow score invalid. So please, that is that. We still have another thing we still have one more or two more conditions to go, which is the nested if else statement and the ternary operator. The nested if else statement. We want to look at the nested if else statement. So the nested if else statement, it is quite simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this one too, so that I won't be having multiple prompts. So I'll save this. Alright, good. So now we want to look at nested if else statement. Nested if else statements. Now, nested if else statement is having an if else statement inside of an if else statement block. So you're nesting it. That's the meaning. Nested if else statement. And I'm going to show you one example of nested if else statement. It means that this is it. If a condition is met, then you will now move to another condition. If that condition is met, you move to another condition. Let's say, for example, before you can enter university, you must have what your O-level results. You must pass what your O-level results. So if you do not pass your O-level result, you cannot even write post jam. Please take note. It's very important. If for you to be able to enter university, you have to pass your O-level result, pass your jam. After your jam, then pass what? Pass your post jam, because that's the requirement for you to be able to enter into the university. So you can see that we have three nested conditions there. First, the outer condition is pass your O-level. If you pass your O-level, then you can move to jam. If you pass your jam, then you can move to post jam. If you pass your post jam, then you can enter university. So that's a nested if statement, if else statement. So what are we going to do? We are going to create a prompt. I'm going to say let what example can I do it now? Let me just write prompt, and I say do you pass your O-level exam? Then I can do something like e.g. yes or what? No. Just it. Yes or no. So we're going to call this let check O-level. Check for O-level results. So check for O-level results. Is this on O? Yeah. Check for O-level results. So here now I'm going to say, now if check for O-level results is equals to, you can either use this one, or you can either use loose equals to or strict equals to. It's equals to yes. It's equals to yes. Then you can come in. So if the person pass O-level result, because they can come here and can say Then here for the else statement, you can alert I'm sorry, you cannot I'm sorry, you need to pass your O level. Need to pass your O level exam first. So now in this case now, we want to check if the O level result, if the person passed the O level. So do you pass your O level results, your O level exam? So e.g. yes or no. Now mind you, the person can come here, because if you save this now, okay, let me just alert here. Now you can write jam. So let's just see some. Let's just do it like this. Check O level results equals to yes. Now you can write jam. Alert, I am sorry, you need to pass O level exam, blah 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 blah. So now we want to check. Check O level results. If whatever the person types inside of the input field is yes or no, we are going to compare it here. So if the value is yes, we are going to compare it. Is it equals to this yes? So if it's equals to this yes, then you can type this. Notice that my yes here is small letter all through. So if you come here and you do something like capital letter ESY and you press yes, you can say I am sorry, you need to pass the O level result. But unfortunately, I typed yes now. But the yes that I typed inside of my prompt is capital letter, not small letter. So you cannot. So capital letter and small letter yes is not the same thing. Capital letter yes and small letter yes, they are not the same thing. You know, I told you that JavaScript is case sensitive. It's sensitive to case. Meaning that in that prompt we typed capital letter yes. So capital letter yes is different from small letter yes. So what we are going to do is, whatever the person types here, whether small letter y or whatever the person types, yes, if the person type yes, but the casings are different, like maybe capital letter Y, then ES, small letter. What we are going to do is, in our back end, because let's just see this place as our back end, we are receiving an information from our front end using the prompt. So whatever the person type on the prompt here, we want to convert it to a lowercase. And I haven't taught you that before, because that's a string method. So to lowercase method is used on string data type. And I told you that anything that you pass inside of the input field of the prompt method is going to give you a string data type. So there's a method that we can use on string data type. So method that actually functions that, or method that action that we carried out on a particular on a particular data type or whatever. So whatever the person types on the input field, you are not there to guess if the person types capital letter S or capital letter Y and small letter ES. But you, as a developer in your backend, what you want to do is, whatever the person types in the user interface, you want to convert it to lowercase or lowercase. So you are going to say, okay, prompt, in this part here, you are going to attach dot to lowercase. That's what you call to lowercase. Finish, then the parentheses like this. So whatever the person types there is going to convert it to, or it's going to convert everything to lowercase. So if I type ESY, these are all capital letters. But because I've converted it to lowercase in my backend, it's going to be converted to what? Lowercase. So now you see, I'm coming. Hold on. Let me type this again. So if I type yes now, can you see now you can write jam? I repeat, capital letter yes. Now you can write jam. Because why? I've converted it to what? To lowercase. If I refresh this and I do something like capital letter Y, then ES, it will still be converted to lowercase. Can you see it? That's how it is. So now that we are going to now check, so that's that. So say if the O level result, if the person passed the O level result, yes or no, e.g. yes or no, then you can now So if the person pass it, then we'll now go ahead to write another if else statement. So you can see that we are now having if inside of an if statement. So this is what we call nested if, meaning that this condition that we are going to write here is dependent on the outer condition of the if. So we are checking if the person passes his O-level result. If it is yes, then come to this condition here. So we're going to say in this condition, before we write the condition, inside of this if block, we are going to write let check jam equals, and here I'm going to do the same thing too. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. And here, did you pass your jam exam? Did you pass your jam exam? Yes or no? So now, and I say if check jam is equals to yes, that means we'll not check for another one. But here we'll say, but if the person did not pass, or the person just type no, we can alert this one here. Let me copy this, paste it here. I'm sorry, you need to pass. I'm sorry, you need to pass your O-level, your jam exam. Pass your jam exam also. So this is now in this if else statement. Now notice that we have a variable inside of this if block. So if you remember in our last class, I was talking to you about global variable and local variable. So this is a local variable, meaning that this variable is only accessible within this block of if. So when I'm talking about block, I am talking about this curly bracket here. Can you see this first curly bracket? C is the last curly bracket. This is the closing curly bracket of this first if. This is the first curly bracket, and this is the closing curly bracket. Can you see it? Can you see this one and this one? So if I highlight it again, can you see? This is the if statement space. This is the if environment. This is the if environment. Inside of here is the if environment. So we are declaring a variable inside of this if here. So this variable can only be used inside of the if statement, inside of this if environment. It cannot be used outside of if. You cannot access check jam outside of what? This if. It's going to give you error, because this is what? A local variable that is local to what? This if statement. Why global variable are the ones that we have been doing since, all these ones here. This one is also a global variable. This check O-level result is a global variable that means any function or any function, any expression, anything can access this variable. That is what it means. So now we are going to check if the person passed the jam. Then we are going to say let's check post jam. Check what? Post jam. And we say, let me copy this. I'll paste it here. Say, do you pass your post jam? Post jam exam? Yes or no? So you now say if check post jam is equals to yes, then alert you are eligible to enter the university. Else, I'm sorry, you need to pass your post jam exam to gain admission to the university. So, and I think that's all. So this is what we call nested if statement. Can you see? It's like a triangle. Can you see a triangle? So this is the outer if statement. This is the other one, and this is the other one. Can you see it? Very simple. So it means that if this one is true, then come to this one. If this one is true, then come to this one. So if we sample it now, so let's see. Yes. So do you pass your exam? Yes. Did you pass your post jam? Yes. So you are eligible to enter the university. The post jam. So let's say, for example, the person passes his O-level result, but did not pass his post jam. I'm sorry, you need to pass your post jam, your jam. So let's say the person passes his O-level result and passes his jam, but failed to pass the post jam. Say, I'm sorry, you need to pass your post jam exam to gain admission to the university. Can you see how simple it is? That is that. So the next one we're going to look at, but not today, is we're going to look at the combination of multiple if-else statements with nested if-else statements. The combination of multiple if-else statements with nested if-else statements. Then afterwards, we're going to look at ternary operator. We're going to look at switch statement. Then from there, we'll look at what do you call it? Loop. We'll look at loop. So please, until then, make sure you understand this one. All right. Goodbye.